again for watching last week's offering. I'm back to do more. And this week, I've got no notes for once. I'm going to completely wing it. I'm slightly pushed for time. I should have started recording this, I don't know, a few hours ago really. I've got 1 hour before I need to leave the house and go and help a young 11-year-old boy with his English, so clearly not dressed for that. Need to wipe off the orange lippy before I go and do that, I think. But yeah, I wanted to get this recorded because I want to try not to make it any longer than a week between posts. It was last week because I had mega technical problems trying to edit the video and upload it in time, so my dream of getting it up every Monday sort of went wrong after one post. But that's okay. This post this week is going to be focusing on the latest thing I made. Oh, that's my washing machine. I hope you could hear that and you didn't just think I was singing a crazy song for the hell of it. It does play a tune when it finishes. I just really love that about it. Thanks for that interlude, washing machine. Anyway, back to business. Yeah, so this video is going to be about the skirt that I made recently. It's not from the Make 9 challenge, haven't made any of those yet. But yeah, it's one that I started before Christmas. It's very Christmassy fabric, but you know, I think I can get away with wearing it at other times in the year. So yeah, I'm going to show you that, and I'm also choosing it as my SMYLY challenge competition entry. It's my Sewing Makes You Love Yourself competition entry because I made it and it makes me feel good wearing it. Okay, so I'll start with showing you the skirt. Oh yeah, so the second thing that I'm going to talk about is my SMYLY entry. Okay, so I'll start with showing you the skirt. I hope that I can fit you in here. Just, oh, maybe the thing's a bit too close. Okay, so it's got a ruffle. The top part is like a pencil skirt that I cut off here and added the ruffle to. I also extended it up to the waist because it was only kind of here was where it sat. So I had to sort of redraft the pattern, which I've not really done before. I didn't know what I was doing. I probably could have done a better job of it. I had to make a new facing for it because I took it so much higher. This is the back, nice little bum shot for you there. I'm very pleased with my invisible zip. And I'll tell you now, I don't mind telling you, I hand sewed that invisible zip in. Call me silly, call me a person who wastes a lot of time, but the stress I have with invisible zips and the sewing machine is so much that I thought, no, I'm going to do this by hand. I'm going to get every stitch where I want it to be and take the time. And it paid off. So I think that just may be the future for me in invisible zips. I don't have the hang of it with the machine. I've done a few and it always just turns out okay, like wearable, but they're always like too, you know, you can see the zip when you pull the seam apart and I just can't get it good. So that's why I hand sewed it this week. And I was very pleased with myself this week with this garment. Yeah, so the fabric is a very Christmassy kind of shimmery. Can't see it, don't know if you can get the shimmer. You can see it. It's got metallic thread in it, and it's mostly green. It was very frayy fabric. Ooh, sorry, flashing you there. So I had to try and do every seam inside as enclosed as I could. So I did French seams down the sides. What else? Oh, it was a facing, obviously, and I tacked that down so none of the bits from underneath the facing come through. Where I attached the ruffle, I sewed it up again on the inside, so it was like a see, it's like a kind of fluffy effect that I've done. Fluffy. Is that the right word? I don't think so, Lou. I didn't just hem the ruffle, I folded it right under and then stitched it there. So, can you see I kind of like folded it? So there's no raw edges on the inside. Even zigzag finished. I didn't want them because it was so, oh god, so frayy, the fabric, it was everywhere. Anyway, I'm quite pleased with how it turned out and it does make me feel quite glam actually, like I can go out on the town in it. So I need a date. Oh, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. perhaps I'll be wearing it for that. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. What do you think about my latest make? Let me know. I might move you a bit closer now that we've done the show and tell. Oh, how attractive. There we go, that's a bit better. Yeah, so sewing makes you love yourself. I know everybody in the sewing community pretty much knows about this hashtag on Instagram, which is a competition set up by some of the girls on Instagram. I know it's Athina, Lisa Kitsch, and the third name has gone out of my head. I'm so sorry. I do follow you on Instagram, believe me. I'm really sorry. I'm going to put a link to everybody in down below, obviously. So the point of the challenge is to talk about how sewing makes you love yourself, and I suppose the therapeutic aspect of sewing and how it can make you feel really good, especially with regards to body positivity and that kind of confidence, or they are connecting it as well to people having mental health issues and how sewing can help with that. So my little take on that, my story of how sewing has made me love myself, is perhaps not as much to do with the body positivity side, although believe me, I have my hang-ups, as most women, a lot of people do. I definitely have moments where I just think, oh God, I look horrible, oh, and it's bad. But, you know, I'm fortunate enough that it hasn't affected me too badly. But being able to make clothes that you know will suit you and they're exactly what you imagine definitely helps with that as well. But for me, sewing has helped me through some other challenges in the last few years. Oh God, suddenly got emotional, didn't mean to do that. No, I'm going to stay happy in this video. Yeah, I would say over the last 5 years, I've had a challenge in my life which has been infertility. It's been, yeah, quite challenging. It's been a struggle. So I've been trying to have a baby for about 5 years. Actually, it'll be 5 years next month, 5 years in March, and no success as yet. But you know, I'm not giving up hope. I do think that I'll get to be a mum one way or another in the future. But yeah, so I think I started sewing around the time and got into it around the time that all that really started to get difficult. About a year and a half, 2 years into it, I went to see a doctor, and that was about the time that I started sewing. And I don't know if it was coincidental, or maybe it was like kind of, I didn't realise I was doing it as a way to help myself, but it did, it really did. I'll try and put the rest of it in a nutshell for you and not get too boring. Yeah, I had a lot of rounds of fertility drugs, got nowhere, and eventually in a period of about 14 months I had 3 rounds of IVF treatment, all of which were unsuccessful, unfortunately. And you know, it's hard in the meantime. Everyone you know, all your friends, lots of your family, other acquaintances, people you work with, they all seem to be getting pregnant and having babies and managing to do that one thing that you've kind of taken for granted your whole life. I mean, for me, I would say that it was the only thing that I've ever had any certainty about in my life, is, you know, thinking that one day I would be a mum. Yeah, it's the only thing that I ever had absolute unequivocal certainty about. I never doubted it. You know, how you have these imaginings as you're growing up, you picture how your life is going to be in the future, and there were always children in it, and there was never any doubt, never any fear, never any worry about it. It was just an absolute given to me, and it was one thing that I thought, I know I can do that, and I'm going to do it really well. So yeah, I had absolute faith and confidence in it happening. So when I came up against you know, barriers to that happening, it was not only upsetting, it was very discombobulating. It was kind of confusing and hard to get my head around. I won't go into too many details, but there are physiological reasons why it hasn't happened for me. It is basically issues that I have, and yeah, so it's hard, and yeah, and it's a shame and it's disappointing, and to have put in so much time and hope and effort, physically and emotionally. It's been a massive challenge, not to mention financially as well. We've forked out around £20,000 for all the IVF that we've had. So yeah, we did have some help from our families as well, which was amazing. But the huge majority of that money we managed to find ourselves. But yeah, we've still got sort of work to do to sort of get back to normal financially after all of that as well. So that's what's been hard for me. And yeah, sewing sort of happened organically as all of that was going on with me. I started making little things from books. Like, I remember the first garment that I made was actually a little baby dress for a friend who I lived near in Morocco when we were living in Morocco, and she arrived with a brand new baby, and I used to look after her baby a bit as well and mind her. And I thought, right, if I'm going to make a garment, I'll start with something small. So I did. I made a little baby dress. I wish I had a picture of it now. I was really proud of it, and made it on a little red JL mini sewing machine in Morocco out of old clothes that I didn't want anymore. I used the fabric from old clothes, yeah, and I embroidered little bunnies on it. It was so cute. I was really pleased with it. So that was the first garment that I made. I started making pennants. What else did I do? Lots of daft little bitty things to just get me into it, really. And then as the years went on, I started getting a bit more adventurous. And my goodness me, the difference it made, I think, to me, psychologically, having that other thing to focus on, that lovely creativity, that urge to make something. You could meet it with a sewing machine, and oh god, it's just the best thing ever. It makes me so happy, and it makes me think that it's another reason why I should do more of it, really. Yeah, I still don't do as much as I want to, even though I've got an abundance of time. I usually spend more time thinking than doing. Yeah, so I'm glad that I've had that. The whole hashtag sewing makes you love yourself thing, I think it's true. No matter what your struggle is, if you can sew or do anything creative for that matter, oh god, the value of it is just, it can't be measured. It's just wonderful. And yeah, especially over the last sort of year and a half, 2 years, it's helped me even more because god, I've lived a charmed life, let me tell you. I've never had any sort of long-term adversity to deal with ever, really. I think I've had a lovely time in my life. But yeah, last year and a half it got quite intense, really, with the IVF. With my dad had to have major heart surgery. My poor little granddad Jim passed away. My mum got diagnosed with a very strange, rare form of cancer last summer. This was in the middle of the third round of IVF that I did, and she's fine now. My dad's fine. I just want to say that she's amazing. She's going to be great. She's going to have it for the rest of her life, but she won't die of it. She'll just probably die with it, and she's got a great way to manage her symptoms now. She had the major tumour removed, and she's brilliant. She's fab, my mum. She's gonna be great. She's done so well. But obviously all this stuff is happening because I don't live in the UK and all my family are in the UK. I wasn't home for most of the time that a lot of this was happening, which was also quite difficult. It was quite sad for me at times to know that all that stuff was happening and I couldn't be there with those people when I wanted to be. So yeah, I think I'm rambling a little bit now, and maybe I've bent the rules a bit with this challenge, I don't know, but it's been a struggle for me. I have days where I cry and days where I am absolutely fine, and that's, I suppose, how it is for a lot of other people as well. However, I want to say I am generally very happy and I feel very fortunate and lucky. Ultimately, I'm alive. I've got a lovely life. I've got a beautiful, gorgeous husband who's gorgeous to me. I've got beautiful family, my gorgeous sister Jenny Jones, who I just adore. She comes to visit quite a lot, and I've got all my gorgeous family, amazing friends who I just adore, and they all make everything amazing. Yeah, I don't have that much to complain about. Everything's gonna be okay. So yeah, I am really rambling now. But yeah, I've got sewing as well, which is the best hobby ever, and I hope that more and more people take it up. So thank you for listening to me going on about all of that. Sorry if it was a little bit of an overshare, but yeah, I was inspired by the SMYLY challenge to do it. That was why I decided to share all this with you. And hopefully, you know, if there are any other people out there who are dealing with the same issues, I know that infertility can end well for some people. I think most people, fortunately, it ends well for, but I know that there are some of us who don't seem to get anywhere with it, and you know, we can, if there are any of you out there who are in the same boat, then reach out, we can chat. Yeah. Oh, and one thing that I will say, having been on this journey for a while, people go on it for longer than me, I don't know how they do it, but I would say, if you know somebody who is suffering through infertility, the best thing that you can do is just be there for them, be a shoulder for them to cry on, be somebody fun to spend time with, and just listen to them and be able to say, I'm so sorry, that's rubbish for you, I'm sorry. Rather than, if you can help it, just chucking out random advice, because I've had that so much, and I appreciate it because it comes from a place of love. I always assume best intentions. People always say whatever they're saying because they think, I want to help you, what can I say to help you? And stuff like, oh, you'll get there, or oh, just relax and you'll be fine, or have you thought about adoption? They're all, well, no, you can say, have you thought about adoption? I think that's actually a really valid question, rather than saying, well, you can always adopt. That's the difference. That's a different thing. Yeah, God, I've opened up a real can of worms here, hasn't I? Yeah, just, I'd say be careful when offering advice to people who are on this journey, because you have no idea how much biological rubbish about fertility that they have ended up knowing. They could do an A-level in it. It's too much. You end up just knowing everything, and you don't want to know it, but you end up knowing it, and no matter how positive you are, no matter how relaxed you are, that ain't gonna multiply the number of eggs you've got in your ovaries. It's just not gonna make a difference. There's a lot to be said for positivity, and I do believe in it, but suggesting to people that they can turn this thing around just by being more positive or by relaxing. Believe me, I'm a very relaxed person. I do a lot of relaxing. It's usually not gonna miraculously help them to fall preggers. So yeah, sorry that sounds a little bit bossy, but it's just something that I think a lot of people don't really know. Most people don't have a very good understanding of infertility, and that's in some ways good. I don't want everyone to have to know all this stuff. I don't want to have to know it myself, you know. But you do end up knowing it, and yeah, for somebody to then say to you, have you tried this? You could do this, you know, this will help. My friend who had 5 rounds of IVF then got pregnant naturally. I know these things happen, and I think that is amazing when it happens, and it's wonderful. It's the best thing ever. I don't want other people to stop having babies. You know, just because I want that so much, I don't want other people to suffer through what I'm going through. Anyway, yeah, I've said 3 times I'm rambling now. I'm really going to stop. I hope this wasn't too boring for you and too serious. Yeah, but I think I'm going to share it because, well, yeah, big part of my life, and I might as well tell you. But I'm okay, everything's going to be okay. I'm not going to give up one way or another. As I say, I will become a mummy, and my hubby will become a daddy. One way or another, it'll happen. And in the meantime, I am just gonna keep stitching, and I hope you all do too. Lots of love. Thank you for listening if you stuck with me this long. Hopefully I'll do another much jollier post soon next week. Don't know what it's going to be about yet. I'll have a little think on that. Okay then, lots of love everyone. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.